But anyway,
नहीं, जब
जी
साध्वी प्रज्ञा का जब आ गई बात,
जी
किसने मुझे पूछा था आप क्या साध्वी प्रज्ञा को मानते हैं कि वो टेररिस्ट? मैंने कहा कि मैं नहीं जानता हूँ क्या वो टेररिस्ट है क्या संत है।
जी
ये पुलिस कह रही है, अगर कोर्ट अगर केस आगे बढ़ाएंगी और उसे सबूत दे के साबित करेंगी, लेकिन आज मेरे ख्याल में, मेरी नज़र से, क्योंकि मैंने तहकीक नहीं किया, तो मैं ये कहता हूँ, मैं यही नहीं कह सकता हूँ कि वो टेररिस्ट है, ना कि मैं कह सकता हूँ क्या वो संत है या साध्वी है।
Now over here just one small clarification. This is for our viewers as far as साध्वी प्रज्ञा सिंह is concerned. साध्वी प्रज्ञा सिंह को अरेस्ट किया गया मालेगांव के बम ब्लास्ट के लिए। मालेगांव को जो दूसरा बम ब्लास्ट था उसके लिए अरेस्ट किया गया। Another funny part over here is, let me repeat this. कुछ बच्चे मालेगांव से अरेस्ट किए गए थे. They were all Muslims. By the way, they are still in jail for the same crime that Sadhvi Pragya Singh is being persecuted. So we'll come back to that sometime tomorrow, all right? Now this is the funny part. But anyway, we will not go into the Indian judicial system. But what I'm trying to say, don't you think that everybody should get together and perhaps counter this? Because अभी तक क्या हो रहा है कि बाकी जितनी कम्युनिटीज हैं वो इत्मीनान से बैठ करके ये सोच रही हैं कि भाई आज देखिए मुसलमानों के साथ हो रहा है तो होने दीजिए। अरे भाई कल तुम्हारे साथ भी होगा।
बिल्कुल सही, हो सकता है,
हो सकता नहीं, होगा ही। इट्स लॉजिकल, वो तो लॉजिकल प्रोग्रेशन है। तो यहाँ मिल करके सब लोगों को, जैसे एक जमाना था, आजकल तो खैर नहीं है, पंडित नेहरू के वक्त नॉन अलाइन मूवमेंट शुरू हुई थी। इट वाज अ ग्रेट मूवमेंट अगेंस्ट द हेजेमनी ऑफ द ओल्ड इंपीरियलिस्ट पावर्स। डोंट यू थिंक वी नीड समथिंग लाइक दैट नाउ टुडे? लेकिन
आप जैसा बहुत कम लोग सोचते हैं। आपको क्या वजह थी कि कहना भाई जाकिर भाई हक आदमी? तो आप जैसे सोचने वाले बहुत कम लोग हैं। वेरी फ्यू पीपल थिंक लाइक यू that let's stand out for the truth. So अगर हर इंसान सोचने लगे कि हम हक का साथ दे
जी,
तो इस दुनिया में अमन आसानी से फैल जाए।
No, we do it because we don't have a choice. We can see what's coming because
that's right.
You know, there's a train coming at you, and if you feel nothing is going to happen to you, if you stand on the tracks, well, God help you. That's all that I can say.
You're intelligent. You can see the train coming. Some people don't see the train coming.
Right. So what I'm trying to say to you is, don't you think it's time now everybody should get together and say that, hey, listen.
But what they do, that those people who are strong in saying this, they want to suppress them. They want to silence the voice. So that's what they're trying to do to me. But I told them, the more they try to suppress me, the more louder my voice will be.
Right, wonderful. And do you in terms of your study, sorry to come back to the thing, जो आप मतलब पढ़ाई करते हैं, बाकी सब चीज़ें जो आप करते हैं. So how many hours do you study the holy books or whatever you do? I mean,
there was a time I used to study a lot.
Right.
But tell you frankly now, the time I spend studying is very less. Previously there were hours.
Why you become a rock star? Is that why you become famous?
No.
You got people coming all around.
I told you I'm a student. I will remain a student. It is not because that I've read many books. And the more I read, the more I realize I don't know. The more I know, the more I realize I don't know. So now I'm feeling the crunch that why don't I have the time? Therefore I tell my colleagues, now you have the time, read. So now because I'm involved in so many other activities, social work, speaking about the truth, not a rock star. So the thing is, because of that, so now it depends upon if it's issue based or if I'm giving a talk, that is the time we really take out the books and we may shut ourselves for a few days and just get some more material to give a new talk. But previously there were hours that we used to spend daily with the books, and now it is depending upon the demand. Demand forces, then we have to do it.
Right. But in terms of when you prepare for a speech, how do you do it? You got to give a talk tomorrow, for example. How do you do that?
See, depending upon the time that I have at disposal. If I have more time, then I read the books related to the topic.
Right.
If there are many books, then I give a rating. This book is excellent. This book is very good. This book is good. So depending upon the time at the disposal, I rating, and depending on the time, then I start reading the excellent one first, then very good, then good. Same thing with the videotapes. Same thing with the internet information. So we go on the internet and see what is required, and then depending upon time at the disposal. If it's more, then we see videotapes, we see internet reports after verifying it, books, etc. If the time is short, suppose we say that give a talk after 1 hour, then I go to my data bank. I go to my own computer, got a given computer, I start penning down. Whatever I know. Any topic, okay fine. Then what I know, I jot down, because I cannot read in 1 hour books and I can't give a good talk. So then I have to go to my data bank and see in my data bank what I have in my memory, in my hard disk, which will link to the topic they have asked me to give. And that's how I search and I get it and then I give a talk. Same thing, question answer session. When they ask me a question, I have got only a few seconds.
Right.
By the time I get up from my seat, I go to the microphone, I repeat the question. In that 10 seconds, I have to formulate the answer. So I click, I go to my data bank, to my hard disk, and search which is the best answer that I can give. So by the time I repeat the question, in that 5-10 seconds, I have to prepare the answer and give it.
Wow, wonderful. Wonderful to have a memory like this man, and wonderful to have an analytical mind which makes connections and goes forward with referrals and other things. Isn't that amazing? That's really and truly amazing. All right, now since we really have come to the end of this interview, you've also been accused of making fun of other religions. Have you ever done that? Running down other religions.
See, actually,
have you ever done that?
Actually, I cannot do that, because if I do that, that will go against my own Quran. Quran says in Surah Anam, chapter number 6, verse number 108, that revile not, abuse not those gods who they worship besides Allah, lest in the ignorance they will abuse Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So if I do that, I'm going against the Quran. What I do, I try and find out commonalities. Even though I can criticize, I don't. But there are certain occasions which I have to be frank with you. When someone asks a question, and he asks me a question, okay, what is this about the Veda? I try and evade, but sometimes I have to speak the truth. And one such occasion is, you may be aware that there was a person by the name of Dr. William Campbell who wrote a book saying there are 30 scientific errors in the Quran. For 8 years in America, no one replied. So the Americans called me in the year 2000, on April 1st. I went to Chicago and we had a dialogue. And the topic of the dialogue was Quran and the Bible in the light of science. So there, I had to defend the Quran. And since the topic was Bible, I was forced to take out some unscientific points mentioned in the Bible reluctantly. And I told, I'm doing it with a very hard heart. But since I'm forced to do that, and I told the Christians that don't feel I'm here to criticize, because the topic is such, I have to present the case, I have to put the case forward. So as a general...
So Dr. William Campbell played devil's advocate and provoked you, right?
Yes, and I love it. Because the more people attack a thing, and when I give a logical reply, the more they get convinced. So I don't mind anyone attacking Islam. But do it straightforward, rather than misquoting, going to the YouTube, taking out a clipping, say front, you don't agree with this verse of the Quran. So the thing is that because my answers are so logical, based with reason, logic and science, that's the reason I find that they are finding that the people coming to my talks is increasing, and that's endangering the agenda.
All right, now coming back to the Quran, coming back to the Holy Quran, just a couple of doubts that I have in my mind, which I would like clarified over here, since we've got you here.
Sure.
All right?
It's my pleasure.
Oh, so my pleasure too. Can you imagine, I've got Dr. Zakir Naik over here to answer personal questions of mine. So, in terms of women's rights, as far as Quran is concerned, what is the actual situation now, according to your reading of the burqa in the Holy Quran? From whatever I know, the word burqa does not exist in the Holy Quran. Isn't that right?
Yes.
So
that's the Urdu
that's
word.
right. So what does that mean? Is the veil mentioned in the Quran? Does it say anywhere that women should be covered and should not come out?
Yes.
Because after you reply, I'll say something else.
Sure.
Ji.
So as far as the hijab I can mention, veil, I don't know any verse in the Quran which says that the veil, the face should be covered.
Right.
As far as the word hijab is concerned for modesty, before Almighty God speaks about the woman, Almighty God speaks about the man.
Ji.
Almighty God says in Surah Nur chapter 24 verse number 30, say to the believing man that he should lower his gate and guard his modesty. Whenever a man sees a lady, a woman, and if any unashamed thought comes in his mind, he should lower his gaze. So first the Quran speaks about the hijab for the man and then speaks for the woman. The next verse of Surah Nur chapter 24 verse number 31 says that say to the believing woman that she should lower her gaze and guard her modesty and display not her beauty except what appears ordinary of, and draw her head covering over the chest, over the bosom, and display not beauty except to her husband, father, son and the close relatives is given. And basically it's further mentioned in the Quran, in Surah Ahzab, chapter 33, verse number 59. These two are verses of the Quran which speak about the hijab. It says that, O Prophet, tell your wives, your daughters, and the believing women, when they go abroad, they should put on the cloak, the jilbab, so that they shall be recognized and it will prevent them from being molested. And if you go to the sayings of the Prophet, we come to know that there are basically 6 criteria for hijab. Hijab is the right word. The first is the extent. For the man, it's from the navel to the knee. For the woman, the complete body should be covered. The only part that can be seen are the face and the hands of the wrist. There are some scholars who say that face should also be covered, but according to my understanding of the scripture, covering the face is not compulsory. The second is the clothes they wear, it should not be translucent or transparent, so that you can see through. Third, the clothes should not be tight-fitting, so that it reveals the figure. Fourth, it should not be so glamorous so that it attracts the opposite sex. Fifth, it should not resemble that of the other beliefs. And 6, it should not resemble that of the opposite sex. So these 6 are the basic criteria of hijab that is mentioned in the Quran.
Right, now over here, the questions I would like to ask you
Sure,
is this.
sure.
Because there are lots of descriptions of battles which have been given, even in the Quran and even in Islamic history.
Sure.
We have seen Arab armies march into battle, and we have seen in the early days the women used to go into battle with the men.
Of course.
Lots of times.
There are many examples.
There are lots of examples, and I don't think any of them wore a hijab, or I don't think any of them were covered in that way.
Now
Right.
covered. If you say naqab, I
Right.
would agree with you.
Right.
The naqab and hijab. Naqab is a word which means covering the face.
That's right.
And hijab means covering the body except the face and head. Even
Right.
the men in the olden days,
Yes.
they were completely covered. If you say at the time
Some
of
of them.
Mughal time, no, they used to wear the cover, they used to wear a helmet. So men was the only thing you could see.
Because there
of
were
men.
lots